Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's Star Ladder Season 12, China, and we're in stage number 1, and we've moved on to Group B in our first matchup of Group B, which is NewBee taking on HyperGlory Team. We saw in, well, game number 1, pretty much a stomp. HyperGlory Team just kind of put NewBee in their place. We had a lot of questions as far as what we were going to see from NewBee, and, well, it only took 18 minutes for them to show us what their debut was all about. So with that said, we'll kind of just fly into game number 2. It's Beyond the Summit bringing you the coverage. I'm KotLGuy, but believe it or not, I don't have to go at it alone this time. I've had someone who just said, I can't stand to watch you do it alone anymore. I got to help you out. Curtis Ling, Owie, is going to be joining me here. Owie, are you there, my man? How's it going?
Hey, good, thanks.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. It's like 5, 6, 7 in the morning on, I don't even know whatever day it is of the week, and I can't believe you're actually up and willing to help out.
Yeah, I was lying in bed for like 3 hours trying to sleep, and I just couldn't sleep because my sleep schedule was so messed up. So I just started watching some Dota and saw you didn't have a co-caster. So I thought, might as well, watching the game anyways.
Couldn't sleep at the sight of the nightmare of what NewBee had. What did you think about seeing I mean, they lose Xiao Wei. They bring in Jun, who's a well-respected Chinese player. You know, he's got one of the highest MMRs you can even ask for. And I was curious as far as what their roster, how they were going to position everyone. And, well, I mean, just based on the performance they had with only 2 kills, is that a bit of a fluke, you think? Or do you think NewBee still have a lot of work to do before they can kind of be on par with some of these other teams?
I mean, if they slacked off since basically the tournaments after, they start slacking off after TI5 and not practicing, like they have a lot to catch up on. And they didn't do well at DAC, obviously, so like it's sort of par for the course, I think, what's expected right now, but I think it's also expected that they'll start getting better really quick and improve. As for the roster shuffle, I honestly have no idea, because when the first Chinese shuffle happened last year, I thought LGD was going to be the best Chinese team, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Now, going into the actual draft, is there something I'm missing? But why are all these teams put so much in silencer? Last series, it was banned first, both games from eHome. This game, it's been picked up now twice in the first phase from NewBee. Is there something I'm missing? Have they been scrimming with it? I know on the western side of Dota, it's a very niche kind of a pick if you really need it as a counter to like a Phoenix or a Storm Spirit or anything like that. But over here, man, they put so much onto it. What am I missing? What are the people missing that make silencer so good? Or do you not even know and you're just as puzzled as I am?
He's a really high tier pick in Chinese pubs because he is the only support that was really good against like Axe and Lane
10 seconds
back when that was the pub meta. And I think NewBee, they might not be practicing that much, so they're just relying on their pubs for their picks, which a lot of teams do. Like, it's not a bad thing to do. It's pretty common, but if they're relying on that, then Sanser would be a top tier hero because I think he's still really good in pubs.
Yeah, I guess that makes definitely a lot of sense. So I guess that would mean they haven't really had the opportunity to scrim quite often, or maybe teams don't care to scrim with this new NewBee group or something. So it seems a bit awkward, and we didn't quite see it there.
Is my mic working in game? How do I change that?
Well, you can go into the options where the gear is on the top left, go over to video audio, and on the bottom you'll see enable open mic. There's a checkbox there. If it is checked and you see your volume meter moving up and down, then it should be working. If they still don't hear you, then it's probably something with Perfect World at that point, and there's not much you can do.
Alright.
But let's talk about the actual draft. So Jug, Silencer, now Queen of Pain on the side of NewBee. HyperGlory Team managed to sneak in a Wisp, and it looks like they followed up with a Bristleback and a Lion. Then a Clockwork as a quick response from NewBee. Any early first impressions as far as stringing this together? Is it going to be a Wisp Bristleback kind of a combo, or are they maybe thinking about sneaking in a Tiny into the mix?
I think ideally how you want to do it is you start with a dual lane mid with the West. You have a Bristleback offlane. The Bristleback sort of just forces a couple waves of EXP by burning his regen, and the West stacks a lot of Ancients for him. And then the West gets his bottom and joins the Bristleback later after giving your mid the lead. That way you can sort of secure mid, and top lane can go okay at first since you're just burning regen for EXP, and it can win later since you have Ancient stacks and a strong Wisp.
Reserve time.
Fair enough. We'll have to see what that partner will end up being. It looks like for now, at least, HyperGlory Team secure what I imagine being the ZSMJ pick here in your Slark. Very snowball-heavy kind of a hero. And, well, can also still work out respectively well with Wisp and having that heavy momentum. So we'll have to see if they do want to round out their lineup with something like a Tiny to have that dual lane setup like you were talking about. And, well, if that is going to be the case, I mean, how do you feel someone like a Queen of Pain could match up against it? I mean, we don't know for certain if it is going to be that mid-lane Queen of Pain, but from what I've already seen with the Clockwork picked up in the Jug, that seems to be the case. Is she mobile enough early on to be able to withstand the pressure of an early dual lane, or do you think she's going to have to get a second support here that can kind of help her maybe take on like a dual-on-dual matchup?
I don't think she's particularly good versus a full dual lane just because she has 1 armor and she's not particularly high HP. But if you put another support in there with her, then she should dominate the West lane. And Sansa is, in my opinion, the best zoning support. Not necessarily killing, but for specifically zoning. So Bristleback won't have that good a time against him up there either.
That even just that 1 point into glaive, like I can't. It's so good, such good early harassment damage, especially if you happen to be going against some sort of melee off lane, and you can just really keep them back. Doesn't even matter if it's someone as big and burly as a Bristleback. So it's probably something they're banking on here. Final bans though coming out from NewBee. They eliminate the Viper, a dirty, disgusting hero in its own right, and then the Puck, which to be honest, I haven't even seen a Puck come out in quite a while, but they're looking to, I guess, get rid of a bit of the extra lockdown and silence and crowd control there. And for Hyperglory team, thinking about their last ban, it looks like it's got to be something at the support. Could be a Lion. No, Lion has actually, not been banned. Oh, no, been picked up already. That's right. Yeah. Other than that, Shadow Shaman seems to be the other very trendy hero here.
They need a disable, one more disable. I'm really bad at picks without like the hero screen thing in front of me because I've never picked anything without it.
Mike said the same thing at Star Ladder. They're like, "How do you guys do it?" I'm like, "Dude, it's all up here, buddy. It's all in the head." I know. I mean, at home I at least have like the Dota poster behind my monitor. I can work with that, but here it's just like rattling it off. I mean, if you need disable, Shadow Shaman seems to be one that sends out. I mean, he's got a couple of them to work with, and everyone's
really hard to play versus Bristleback Lion and Slark though, just because.
True.
I think that's a good pick.
So Disruptor, obviously a good counter for Wisp. I mean, whether it's glimpsing him back the hell out of there, or if you see the relocate coming, you get a preemptive static storm down, you can kind of get things started with that. Or the lockdown that's going to be coming in from Clockwork could set the stage for Disruptor to have a good follow through. So a lot of silence here.
Yeah, he's super good for Slark, just because all his spells, like Slark's Q doesn't matter versus him. Not really his ulti either. And he's really easy to hit good ultis with a Clockwork and against a Wisp.
I love the hero, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think he's good. No one runs him that much, but he's definitely a good hero.
Yeah, I don't know. As of recent, he's like I said with the silencer, just means more of a niche pick. Like if you need it in a time like going against a crazy Tinker or a Wisp or some way to just kind of get that silence and that lockdown. But I'm happy to see it pop up here for NewBee, but it is a NewBee after all. We'll have to see how much they could put behind it. Hyperglory team though, they want to round things out. They already got the support set up, an off-lane Bristle, and potentially their safe-lane farming Slark. This is going to be Air's hero. He's known for his brew. I don't know if a brew is going to be what is set here. And notably also, the Wisp Tiny, whatever it may be for the dual lane.
I think brew's a bit hard to play against all the silence. You'd have to like get a really quick BKB.
That's true.
Which is not ideal. But I don't know, it could work out. Like if you get your ulti off, they don't have much to deal with it.
Yeah, I only say brew because it's Air after all. You just got to casually throw it out there the same way like when we see a Weehaw game. It's like, oh, maybe a Meepo, maybe, even though they have an Earthshaker or something already. Night Stalker. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So it's a mid lane Night Stalker. Is this going to be a dual setup, or do they maybe throw Wisp with Bristle in a lane and then kind of have Lion and Slark go hand in hand and let Night Stalker do his own thing?
I think it's 2-1-2. Like just dual lane top with Bristle with Wisp, or maybe Wisp starts in the jungle for a bit, gets a few levels, and joins him later. But I have no idea. I haven't seen a Night Stalker in a long time.
I've seen it pop up a couple of times, but you know what? I've seen it recently ran as a 4 position. A lot of the European teams really love to. I think it was Moscow 5 that really like to run it as well, and just that
Moscow 5 are crazy though.
You know what? They make for one hell of an entertaining game. I'll tell you.
No, they're really fun to watch, but they're definitely crazy.
They almost won that series. I mean, they had that first big comeback on the back of a double rapier sniper, and then the next game was well in their favor, and then things just got crazy. And then after that, we had the snowball to the cliff, and I mean, how bad would it be that your team is notoriously known for something like that? That would be terrible. But All right, here we go. Game number 2 starting away. NewBee got crushed in game 1. They're looking to at least go 1-1 here and even things up and take it to a game number 3. And how they want to do it is go very aggressive early. They immediately block out the ancient stack, it looks like, with that ward. It's a funny little ward. It's an obs ward as well.
Does that block?
Does that block? Does it give? It doesn't even give vision. Does it?
That's weird.
I'm looking. Yeah.
I don't know if it blocks because it's sort of not the best ward to put if you have a free ward and if you're going behind it. Just because like they put a ward to right to left, a D ward to D ward the camp anyways. But it's sort of interesting. I guess Bristleback can't D ward it. Can't hit it.
Yeah, if it doesn't block, then that's a worthless ward. I mean,
I think we should assume it blocks. Like NewBee's pretty good about that stuff. It definitely blocked actually.
Well, they better have gotten it out. Okay, fair enough. Just an interesting spot to choose and use an obs ward for if it's not even going to give you a lick of vision. But oh well. Runes are going to be dispersed, and it looks like as lanes go out, ZSMJ on his Slark's going to be hand-in-hand with Pretty Ha. It is indeed going to be Air at his solo, letting the range keep run out front on his Night Stalker top lane. It is going to be a dual setup between your KotLGuy and your Bristleback going hand-in-hand here. And as far as on the side of NewBee, we got Moo, who's going to be playing your Queen of Pain. Top, they got the tri-lane setup between Sansheng and his Disruptor. You got Banana playing now the Silencer. They actually switched between Sansheng, who played the Silencer in the previous matchup, and now Banana's going to take it like, this time I'll give it a go. But Rabbit, again, going to be playing their core position. This time he's got the Jug, and that leaves June as their off-lane Clockwork. And no surprise, he's going to be doing the early blocks right here, trying to get the Creequilibrium under the tower. And should be able to get some early XP, but he's only going against the Slark for now, so I don't imagine this Clockwork having too much trouble in the early part of this game.
Wouldn't be Dota 2 without a pause.
No, it would not. Certainly not. And not Starladder Dota. I don't know. I think I could have casted like 4 games in the time I've had pauses throughout this Starladder so far, but at least this one's a small hiccup and we get right back underway. Bottom lane... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Chinese teams are really good at playing 3v2s and stuff. Like when I was on Cloud9 and EG, for both the teams, we didn't really want to dual lane against them that much. Like top lane, they're doing a really good job of zoning and controlling the lane. Yeah, Banana's got that first point into the glaive, and it's just no mercy right now on keeping him far and back. And then they have their secondary support kind of deal with the pulls, stacking it up, and making sure first and foremost they are going to be blocked. And he is going to do the full pull through and everything. So just completely removing this creep wave from them. And yeah, even a big bad Bristle doesn't even want to bother making fisticuffs right now with Banana. Back on mid lane, though, the Wisp is actually going to be going hand-in-hand with Air here, so they're doing a bit of a switch-up, at least for now, or maybe he's just hanging out till the 2-minute rune pops up. But it looks like they're just going to go ahead, together against Moo. That ward did not block. That was not good.
That did not block. That is a worthless ops ward. So, NewBee, the struggle continues, unfortunately, for them. But looks like for now they are able to secure that top rune and force Wisp back and keep the Bristle back in his place in that lane. So at least they're controlling the momentum there, I suppose. It's not too shabby. Well, what about this Clockwork, though, bottom lane? It's got 3 CS, level 2 at 2 minutes in. It's not too bad, but on the other side, you do have your Slark 8 and 5. I don't think he's going to have too much of a struggle here in this lane. Clockwork should be able to secure some early XP, and without the support being in the lane to really zone him back, I don't think he's under too much pressure.
He's doing really well, and he has a triple wave, so Slark's gonna have a lot of trouble CSing this under the tower just because he's got a 3 range crease beating him, a Clock running at him with cogs. He's playing the lane really well.
And now he can just wait above, hang out for a moment. If any of the creeps go down, he'll soak in the split XP and just deal with it there. Actually, even toying with Pretty Ha. They're neighbors here. Oh, he actually pops and commits the battery assault, but he can't get close enough to get that first tick to connect. So he'll just pull back with it for now and make do with the situation. Back on mid, Air getting a little bit of loving right now from his Wisp buddy. Healed right back up. But the first Nightfall is coming here, Owie, at about 4 minutes in. Air hasn't really been able to throw together a lot, almost level 4. Do you think it's going to be crucial for him to get the most out of that first night? Or do you think he's fine if he just kind of persists on farming and staying close to this mid lane?
I'm not going to lie. I don't know the Night Stalker here that well. Like, I haven't really looked into him that much since he used to be like 6-minute nights, but I think it's still pretty important you do something like 1 gank within the first night at least still, just because I don't think the hero's that good unless he abuses his early game. That was a really cool juke by June if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. That was a nice little square dance happening there. He's able to just bounce him back easily and just turn the corner and he went poof. He was gone.
Yeah.
So really just kind of getting up in arms with them and forcing this bottom Hyperglory team lane to be a little bit flustered with this Clockwork.
You can see the effect of the triple wave he did on Slark there too. Like Slark is 7 CS behind Juggernaut, even though they've both basically been free farm just because Clockwork was able to manipulate his lane so well.
Yeah, really holding them back for almost this one point to really unleash the fury of the wave under the tower. And yeah, he's able to kind of push on ahead. So looking at that Jug on the other side, they've had free lane to work with right now. He's got phase boots already. 24-19. Serious denies also coming out from Rabbit. Really punishing whoever was thinking about even staying in that off lane.
And Bristol's level 1, so that's not looking good for him.
Ugh, real rough. And, well, at least,
stacks.
yeah, the stacks, even though they were not blocked, they're not being stacked up, more importantly. And he's now stuck to going to the jungle, but he's only level 1 quills. Even this little stack is going to take a while to break down. And it is the Nightfall now. Air, we have to yet to see where he's really going to make out of it. And this hero did receive a wealth of buffs. I can't remember if it was your video I was actually watching about the patch notes when you're talking about it, but I believe that when it's all said and done and you get to level 3 on his ultimate, or even if you have an Ags, there's only a total of like 1:30 daytime altogether if you could space out the ultimate appropriately. And that's a lot of restricted vision, not just on the heroes, but on the wards as well. So if you're trying to find opportunities to make your hookshot jump in or lead in with the Queen of Pain, it becomes that much harder. I don't know how much of a deal that actually is from a player's perspective, but from our view, it seems to be a bit frustrating for a lot of players.
It is pretty good. The first game I played against the new Night Stalker as a Crystal Maiden, and I was trying my best to ward, and every time you press R, like it felt like I didn't have any wards on the map. So
could prove to be a bit trouble for heroes who kind of want to get the first step into a big fight. But
especially, it's really hard to initiate with a Queen of Pain and Clockwork if you don't have that vision.
Yep. So these two weighing it out. Moo is level 6 now. And we'll see as they actually sentry up this top. Nothing there to kind of de-ward for now. Bounty's still on bottom, but look at Air. He's finally ventured away from the mid lane. He's going on to June. June's silenced for now, but he should be able to get the cogs off. But now a pounce committed, not going to connect from ZSMJ. Gets locked into a death trap. June still be able to walk away. Rotations are coming. He turns the corner. Oh, he's going to slip away. Here comes Banana, throws off the early last word, and that's going to force ZSMJ back. Now Air in way too deep. That glimpse sends him all the way back into a nicely set up kinetic field. And there's Moo to jump in, and it takes almost well over 6 minutes, but we finally get our first blood, and it goes to NewBee.
Yeah, that was a bit of an overcommittal. I think he maybe could have waited a little bit, but, you know, I don't know.
That felt so risky for just like a melee mid laner to run in there on a Clockwork and hope that they can get the job done so quick.
He got it in his room, but I don't know.
He's like committing under the tower though. It's easy for people to rotate in, and well, he's a Clockwork and just cog and keep everyone else back.
It's really nice by Slark though. Like he managed to stay directly in the middle of the cogs, so that when one was broken, he didn't get stunned with it. I actually thought Slark was gonna die there, but he didn't get hit by cogs at all.
Good maneuvers from ZSMJ then. It could have been a much worse situation. Not so fortunate, though, for Air, as he just went way too deep. Maybe he felt that pressure that he does need to get a couple of kills brought in the first Nightfall because there's only 30 seconds left of it to do something with it. Glimpse back onto the Wisp. They're not going to follow back up with anything after that. But
I mean, if he didn't keep pursuing the Clockwork bottom there, it could have just been good even if he didn't get the kill, just because he applied so much pressure. Like, they rotated 2 extra heroes down there and the Queen as well. I think 3 heroes down there, right? Yeah, they rotated 3 heroes down there, which, like, now Bristleback has a little bit of space at top. And even though the gank didn't go well, like, now he's level 4. He got something from the jungle, but he's also getting a lot from lane now.
Would have been worth it almost at the sight of the first TP coming in. They could have just pulled back and been like, that's enough, we're good. We got them to, you know, pull away from their other lanes and walk away with that as a win for now.
I think that's the point where your gank sort of breaks even. And they probably thought they could get the first blood, and then it would have been really good for them. But even with the death, it's not the worst for them, honestly.
Air making his return. Fortunately, now he's just a simple, weak daywalker here. And so try to make the best of it. Bottles and boots in hand. He looks at Banana on the other side, who they're relegating the XP and farm to in the mid lane for now, it looks like, so he can get his level 6 and get a hold of that fun global. But it looks like we are going to have another bit of a pause right now as Bristleback will say see you later temporarily as he will disconnect. But I guess this gives us a moment to kind of touch base here with the other lanes. Rabbit's got his phase, his Morbid Mass, just kind of your cookie-cutter Jug build-up. Nothing really crazy as far as that goes, and he's en route to maybe a good rush.
the fact that he has like as many denies as Slark has CS, that's pretty insane.
32.
And double the CS that Slark has. So he's doing pretty well for himself.
Denty's like one of the only other players that really rakes in serious denies like that. I mean, that's just a lot of hate on your offlaner. I mean, he was even doing that while he wasn't even around.
Yeah, Dendy's the best mid at denying. That's something I always notice when I watch him.
Especially when he plays TA. It's just out of control.
Yeah, he's crazy. He'll deny over CS. Like, other mids talk about it a lot. Like Dendy, why are you doing this to me? Like, you're missing a CS to deny me. But it's actually good. So, more people should do that. Denies on the safe lane, it's more just about controlling your wave. If you want to get to deny, it's really by player. But it's just sort of interesting that he has 61 CS to the Slark's 33.
It's just exercising his CS game, I guess, for now.
I think that's mostly on June. Like, June's been doing a really good job at the bottom lane. That's clockwork.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And he's almost level 6. Then he gets that precious hook shot to work with. Do you think as far as the tempo of the game is going, now that clockwork is about to breach his level 6, you have your level 6 obviously already done on your Jug and your Queen of Pain. Are they going to feel more pressured to start making fights happen right away, or do they feel more secured about their late game presence that they can kind of take the game at their own pace and just work going objective by objective, then maybe sneaking in a Roche here, and at that point they kind of follow through with something? Or like I said, do you think they need to kind of make fights happen?
I think NewBee's in a very comfortable spot. They want to take fights around their ultimate. Sansa's been getting mid for a while, so he's actually almost level 6. Disruptor's been doing pose, he's almost level 5, so I think they can take a fight with the first hook shot and global, and then they want to just sort of slow the pace of the game down and take a fight again with the Disruptor and maybe some other ultis, and they want to play around that the global silence. Because Clockwork, once he hits like level 7, I think he can solo anyone on HGT except for Bristleback with a global silence. So that's really strong for them.
Man, your poor Bristleback is just level 4 trying to get level 5. Like, not even trying to match up with
he's
supports.
Doing his best.
It's a hard life. Yeah, I know. I'll give him the benefit. He hasn't died, so he's got that going for him. He's obviously putting himself in a comfortable, safe position to not hand anything over unnecessarily, but he definitely still needs to consider trying to build up that farm. As these level 6s start coming online, things could be a bit troublesome here for Hyperglory team in the mid game. But now it's Rabbit pushing forward, getting a couple early chops on that Tier 1 tower. Like you were talking about, Bandana should be able to get his level 6, gets it right there, so he has that underline, and bottom lane, June is about to get his level 6 on his clockwork. So we'll see exactly how NewBee want to play this out. But for Hyperglory team, we talked enough about NewBee, but Hyperglory team, you have Lion also, who's almost level 6, and it looks like he's going to be the more greedy of the two supports, as about 1k gold. I imagine he's saving right for the Blink Dagger, favoring a bit of that mobility. For Slark, he's got Power Treads. Nice Soccer was dropped earlier, has Power Treads, has to wait another minute and a half for the next Nightfall. And Wisp is unfortunately still level 4. So maybe once he gets relocates, maybe Hyperglory team go on some adventures. We'll have to see.
Oh, they're trying to defend us. They have no glyph though, so it's just going down. So they rotated 4 up there, which is sort of unfortunate for them.
Yeah, I mean, trying to make something out of it, but it's just a little too late. So with that rotation, they are stuck in an awkward position where now they have to kind of do that walk of shame back to some other lanes.
Smoke gank.
Yeah.
HGT's game plan should be like, they want to gank the rune. I think that was their plan. Chenny seems really like doing that. If that smoke was like 2 seconds earlier, that was a free kill on the Quap, and that would have been really huge.
They don't make it in time though, and Quap gets to get a rune and walk away.
Now that that's failed, they should probably just try to hit 6 online and use that first finger to secure a kill on a high level hero on NewBee.
Well, will they do that though is the big question. They're still hanging around as 3 in this mid lane, so both the Lion and Wisp are not really getting anything at this moment. They're currently being scouted from this Hasted Clockwork, who's got a very itchy trigger finger. He's like, I am ready to go with this hook shot and get something set up in the mid lane. On the back of a global silence, this could be a huge team fight for NewBee if they want it. I think they actually saw June there. They have the ping nearby.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's a really cool Obzord.
Oh, hook shot misses. Omnislash does not, though. Gets the kill on Lion. Air's trapping kinetic field. Eats the full spin right there, plus the Sonic Wave takes him down. And now look at the 2-run. Oh, it's Hyperglory team on the retreat path out, but they can't quite get away. But hey, look at this. Nice turnaround. Bristle and Wisp, they make a go onto June here. June goes for the TP, but they scout him, and they get the quills. Clockwork goes down, ends up being what looks like a 2-for-1 trade from both sides.
Dire's bottom tower
Slight win for NewBee. Oh, doesn't stop there.
Rabbit.
Yep, Rabbit gets sheeped up and taken down right there.
The line has his level 6.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Would be a good grab. Double TP rotation to mid lane.
Yes.
Heal him up. Ooh, nice little fountain heal up right there. And look at that. Immediately, ZSMJ is going to be full life and mana. They get the deny on the
Radiant's
tower as
middle
well.
tower has been denied.
That was a pretty well executed fight from HGT.
It felt like they were going to lose a lot more, and they didn't.
Yeah, it really did. When Clockwork got the Bristleback and Wisp in the back, but Stark actually made a lot of space by separating the newbie team from the Clockwork, and they were able to get away with pretty minimal losses, trade evenly, and even get the tower denied. So that was really good for them. And now it's the second night. I think this is where Night Stalker. I don't know if he has to make a difference, but it feels like that's how it should be for that hero.
At this point, I mean, 12 minutes, this is like we're getting ready to approach the meat and potatoes of the Dota game and the real mid-game period. And
Bottom lane.
And as they move on in, it's going to be a pounce caught out from ZSMJ onto June. June, hook shot to try to slow his roll, but ends up cogging himself into a death trap right there. ZSMJ, persistent, gets that kill, walks away, pounces away as the rotation comes from Sansheng. Oh, not going to get close enough for the glimpse, unfortunately. It's big range, but not that big, so we'll walk away. 3-3, not that many kills. Feels like there's been a lot more action, but unfortunately, not a lot of casualties.
I think newbie's plan should just be to farm it out until Global's up again and then maybe go for something. Silencers actually go for a hand of mind. It's like, I don't think they should be worried about farming, especially since you know, Juggernaut has that phase of Kilo Mask of Madness calling. You can get that on any agi melee hero and get like 800 GPM.
Yeah, and even
sick build. My friend goes on every hero.
I don't see it very often.
Really?
I'm kidding. It's
oh, okay.
I might see it on him and maybe a silencer and or not silencer, a sniper.
Yeah, I go that build on every hero. It's great. You know? It is the best pub build.
It's just ridiculous. I'm not a fan of the hero because he ends up beating my ass day to day in my Dota games, so I'm happy to always see him go down, but we'll see here. Flank on bottom. Coming out from Hyper Glory team. Awkward position for Wisp as he goes toe-to-toe with Roche, but his June up and above eats the finger. Barely alive. Static Storm finishes off the Lion. They still get that Clockwork, making it 1-for-1. Now Banana, needing a bit of a punishment for ZSMJ. Sonic Wave flies on through as they are able to get the secured kill, but back and behind. ZSMJ dancing with them a bit. 2-for-1 trade for NewBee to lead things in. And now they continue to press on forward. Ultimate's now used. This poor little Wisp man, still level 5, does not have his relocate quite yet.
Nice, they gave the bottle to Stark for the DD, and he actually went a Blink Dagger first. So they're basically banking on something happening this night, or they were banking with the Blink Dagger.
There's the pounce with the Blink Dagger, and they get the easy kill on the Sansheng, but there's June back from the dead. Easy setup with the cogs, and they get the kill there in return. I don't know if that was worth it anymore, ZSMJ, because he will go down.
Yeah, I don't think he expected, like, NewBee showed a lot of heroes there. So after they show a lot of heroes, you sort of expect them to move somewhere else so they can farm or something. But they actually just predicted what he's going to do. They stayed out of vision of that ward, and they baited him perfectly.
Good grab for them to capitalize on that opportunity. So your big Nightfall turning into a bit of a dud so far at the start. Finally, Wisp was able to find some secured lone time in the mid lane to finish off this relocate. But they don't really have any sort of aggressive wards down. It's starting to feel like one of those games where this Wisp could be using this relocate in a more defensive manner if they don't start getting some extra vision on the map. They are able to plant one right there in the mid lane, but they already had one there, so it's dual mid lane wards, looks like, for the side of Hyper Glory team. I guess they're just nervous about NewBee converging on them here, but
when your tier 1 tower mid goes down, you need to just put a ward there, just because it's such a important part of the map.
Whoops. Links in, pounce off the mark though, and he's have to use the Shadow Dance to just walk away. Bit of an airball on that one, unfortunately, for ZSMJ, but it could have almost been for the better. There was still 3 NewBee nearby in this mid lane. It could end up costing him if he went a little too far.
That was pretty spooky.
Yeah, 4 spooky, 6 me, whatever you want to say. Okay, well, June yet to kind of what has he got here? Has he got a 4 staff en route? Nope, it's gonna be just, it looks like the power treads complete here for your Clockwork, so, or not complete even yet. A bit behind on the farm, even though he has some XP under him.
Yeah, he did really well early, but he just happened to die 3 times, even though his team got trades.
Oh, nice hook. Very nice hook. Catches him, go to the high ground with the pounce, and now runs him down with the battery saw as he bottles on up some mana. Oh, the global silence comes a hair too late as he's able to pounce on away, but the glimpse back from Sansheng. Beautifully set up right there. And they secure the takedown of the Slark. Good setup, good hook.
That was just really good play all around by NewBee. That sort of displayed why Disruptor is so good against Slark. Like, no matter how elusive he is, you just press W on him, he can't do a thing against it. He's going to come back into a kinetic field and ulti even if he ultis. And they're securing bot tower here. HGT can't really fight, so they should try to farm and push every other lane.
Bristleback, the lone defender for now, as they scout out behind the tower with that kinetic field. I see. Taking a roll of the dice here.
Look at their mid wards in that sentry. It's so sad. It's like 50 range from both wards.
Oh, the top one is like just on the cusp. Oh, that's real unfortunate. Well, they get to hold their mid lane vision, I guess, is the benefit right now for Hyperglory team. But they lose their bottom tier 1 tower, and this is looking more like the NewBee squad we were expecting, at least for game number 1. This time they felt like they came to play. They secured a really good promising start of their laning phase. You know, Quap got a lot. We talked about already how Clockwork got a lot at the bottom, and it's very apparent that Juggernaut had plenty of farm to work with. As he's now working with the Ancients, he's going to go right for the Manta.
He still has double Slark's CS. And Slark actually went for Blink Dagger, so when you go for a non-Midas build on Slark, you really have to get something done. And even Lothar's is better at farming than Blink. In most cases. It's sort of weird because it's a Wisp, so Blink might be good.
Relocate save, not in time. Bristleback will go down, and Wisp will not be able to save him. So, a good effort for Hyperglory team, but the job has been done. Now Air deciding to move forward. Thunderstrike, gotta be careful. 4 more seconds for Glimpse. It's not gonna be there, but a good hook shot from June connects. Long tether though, good save. He's able to walk on away and heal on up. That Static Storm is going to be blown away, unfortunately. Not there quite in time to stop him from getting the tether off, but with that momentum, NewBee just kind of know that maybe Hyperglory team will have to split, and they go into the Roche pit. Can they contest this, though?
They have 5 ultis down on NewBee, and I still don't think HGT can really contest. You'd have to have a really good impale from the line into, like, blowing up the... Ooh, I don't know who they would blow up. Yeah, they just give it up.
Well, yep, nothing they can do about it. Immortality going to be there for Queen of Pain.
She is really strong.
She has an Axe already too, so she could just throw out that ultimate like it's nothing. Any fight, anywhere. I mean, hell, if she wants to farm in some quick CS. Wu is definitely on course for a very impressive co-op game. And that still comes behind someone like Jug, who's on their team. I mean, just looking at the net worth difference, you could see it's almost double for those two above anyone on Hyperglory team.
Yeah. What's interesting, you know, at DAC, even though NewBee did so bad, Sumail said Mu was the best Chinese mid he played against.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that says something for Mu, man. Good for him. He's definitely been showing it here with his Queen of Pain.
I think HGT needs to try to use their Ancients as much as they can to come back into this game. They have a really good way to farm with Bristle and Wisp. So... And they actually haven't killed a single Ancient this game, and that's a lot of farm disparity, because Jug has just been sitting there. Like, Ancients are 250 GPM, and it sort of shows when you don't use them.
Economy continues to be boosted more and more here for NewBee, but they are taking your heed of advice, and Hyperglory team go to work on these stacks. Looks like Icy does have his Belt of Strength, so I imagine this is going to be the early makings of a Sage. Are you feeling like this is more of an SMY kind of a game, or does he have to consider the Halberd for this one? I mean, it's just a Jug that I'd see as the real counter, but maybe the bit of evasion could help?
I'm not sure. Evasion doesn't work versus Omnislash, the hits themselves. It works on the hits in between. Oh, what's TP? Oh wait, never mind. I'm crazy.
Uh-oh, Sansheng sees him, throws up the vision. Kaka is as good as dead here. If he tries to run away, the Glimpse will be there. There's a tether, and there's the Glimpse. That Sonic Wave helps finish him off.
They can blow Scout.
Though. Okay. All right, no, they're not going to be able to move forward with it. No finger committed for that one, and NewBee will be able to get the one Wisp takedown without losing anything. Feeling like another night where more pressure for Hyperglory team to get it done. If this Nightfall is not successful for them, I feel like it's going to be a long game, or a steep hill to climb, if you will, for Hyperglory team.
This is really scary for Hyperglory team, because other than Slark, they don't, well, even with Slark, they don't have anything to tank the Omnislash, and it's actually really good against Bristleback, because Omnislash jumps to the opposite side of the target with each hit. So even with Bristleback, you're always going to get half your hits on this front, or on all sides. So Juggernaut's actually really good against Bristleback that way.
Who's Juggernaut not good against, Dowie?
Lion.
Yeah.
Juggernaut's not good against Lion. But no, I know. Juggernaut's...
I never knew that, though.
He's a pretty good hero.
That's awesome. Back to front, huh? So, all right. Worthily noted in case I ever get my hands full with a bristleback player.
Yeah, you just click R on him. He will die. I think that's most heroes, but...
Doom.
Doom.
Here we go.
Doom is good for Juggernaut.
Here we go. NewBee now, chomping away tier 2 tower. And it looks like Hyper Glory Team are not going to be there to defend it, at least as right now. Maybe they feel Juna is lonesome here in the mid lane. ZSMJ thinking about a jump, still trying to finish out his own personal BKB. But look at this positioning right now. They are really putting a lot in maybe getting a jump here. They're still trying to even get their first tower takedown here, Howie, for Hyper Glory Team. So almost feels desperate at this point for them to try to get the best in a fight.
Getting towers is so good when you have a Wisp too, just because it opens up the map so much to relocate. So it's sort of unfortunate that NewBee had such a strong early game and just able to repel every tower push. Actually, I don't think HGT even tried the tower push, but
yeah.
NewBee have been playing this pretty well.
So here we go. Moving on in. They're going to go for tier 2 as they just kind of go down the list one by one. Hyper Glory Team's still dancing around this top tier 1, only doing a little bit of damage to it, but now they finally pulled the trigger on really kind of picking up the pace and getting it down, but they've already lost so much in exchange. That other tier 2 goes down. Hell, they could maybe even consider a defense. No.
Yeah, they're going high ground. Jug with no real damage items, doing the most DPS in the game by far. Typical Juggernaut.
Manta and Mascoman is more than enough. As you can see, the tower will crumble.
Yeah, he has
no glyph.
Oh.
Okay, well, that respect got those illusions pretty good, but that's not going to be doing it. New, very low on life, silenced up.
They just Rabbit's microing his ward really well, not letting it die. Just heal up, they just farmed enemy jungle here, go to their own jungle, farm that out, push out top, and HGT is going to be super farm starved.
I mean, NewBee still have plenty to work with. They didn't have to commit any sort of global silence or anything, and Omni Slash and everything's still up. Rabbit could take away the farm now from Hyper Glory Team's jungle, and you're stuck with NewBee being able to kind of herd Hyper Glory Team into their own base, and then your farm becomes so much, so restricted, and like you said, starved, that whatever farm you can get a hold of, you're kind of putting towards ZSMJ, and your supports just kind of can't really get anywhere. Lion was able, thankfully, to at least throw together his Blink Dagger, but I don't know if this Wisp is going to be able to get anything on top of what he's already got. In that warding kind of position right now. They will really need to take a fight and hope for like some sort of good rubber band.
Yeah, Wisp is not fun to play in games like these, and he's really not a 5 hero. Or I mean, he can be, but he's gonna feed as a 5. He's actually been doing a really good job not feeding, because when I play Wisp, I die like 8 times.
Yeah, when you're way behind,
like
it's like you're a walking free bounty.
If you're behind on that hero, it's insane. You're just 1 armor, 600 HP.
That's where I like to get Tranquils. I get Tranquils because of the armor and the move speed. Makes me feel like I'm very fast. And the heal regen, certainly why not? But
you need it to keep up with a lot of Wisp combos. Like if you're playing Wisp Tiny, you need Tranquils or Tiny runs too fast.
Everybody goes for the bottle. I mean, I sometimes like the Tranquil Soul Ring. Do you think that's silly? I think if you got a nice... I mean, I've been playing a lot with Charlie. He loves his Storm Spirit, and I love to inject him full of powerful blue bar, when needed.
I think you get both if you're playing with like Storm or something. Like you got Soul Ring and a bottle.
All right, fair enough. But here we go. They'll make work bottom lane. Got to help out that catapult as he tethers on forward for a sneaky defensive sentry ward here as they try to reclaim their jungle so they can have at least some sort of comfortable blanket of space to farm on up. So Kaka's on ward duty hand in hand with his lion friend. But it's NewBee who control the tempo of this game. The ball's in their court, or however the hell you want to say it, as they kind of sweep through this top lane. Nearby there is ZSMJ with a TP, but he just kind of lingers and waits.
Forced into a BKB after his blink, so his farm is pretty much going to be non-existent this game. HGT to win this, the picks that they get are going to be worth a lot if they can get it on the Jug and Queen of Pain. So they basically need one of those players to go crazy, and then they just pick them off a couple times in a row. That's the point that this game is at if NewBee play it safe, I think. ZSJ is actually doing really well here if he skips the creep waves, because that stills the push and gets him a lot of farm. And he runs away because they want to fight, which is okay too.
Looks like they make that call. He's looking to come in from behind, and the rest are coming in from the right-hand side. Can they get the jumping opportunity? Global's going to be called out. And now the flank comes through. Air mixes move right onto Banana, but it's Moo who gets the first takedown, dropping the Wisp immediately. Sansheng going toe-to-toe with ZSMJ, who's going to pop the BKB, but here comes Rabbit from behind, just doing serious work on his ZSMJ. He has to get the hell out of there. Trying to be safe from the... Goes for the desperate TP right in the middle and makes it out somehow. But 3 go down all day. NewBee lose no one, and they want more blood. Even a chase onto Icy here, and they get the glimpse back. Oh, Bristleback is done for. Caged up. And body blocked even from June just to keep him in place. They do get the kill. 4 go down all day as NewBee lose no one and take high ground, and that's it. We're done here, Howie. Hyper Glory team lose this one, and our series is going to be even 1-1. We'll have a game number 3.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid game of NewBee. They, I think that was a draft too. They picked super strong supports against a Wisp Bristle offlane, which is really good by them. I like that a lot.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, hey, NewBee. I was a bit nervous for him in game number 1, is what we already saw from DAC up to this point. I figured that we were going to see more of the same, but they showed they have some spunk in them, and they pull away with a win in game number 2. So now we get to go to a game number 3, folks. Stick around. We'll get more Dota action, and, well, bringing you the coverage is us Beyond the Summit, myself, KotLGuy, and I've been joined by my special guest here, Curtis Ling, at Howie 2000. So with that, we'll be back in just a moment with more Dota.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!